Today, we're taking a train from New York City to Washington, D.C. to learn about the 250-year-old history of USPS Fashion. Let's go. The reason we're headed to Washington, D.C. is to uncover a centuries-old story hidden in plain view. This year marks the 250th year anniversary of the United States Postal Service, an entity so woven into the fabric of the United States that it's easy to take for granted. In a world that sees nearly 58 million packages delivered daily, where demand surges during the cold months of the holiday season, what are the stories behind the clothes that keep the US and the world connected? We're also going to explore an incredibly executed collaboration between USPS and Ralph Lauren that brings historical pieces back to life in a modern context. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew. What it do? It's nice to meet you. Let's explore the history of USPS Fashion. We've got a train to catch. The history of the United States Postal Service in many ways reflects the history and development of the United States of America. The post office has used rail transit as a means of transportation since 1832, and part of the reason I wanted to take the train from DC is because trains have played such an integral role in how information has spread throughout the US. The train to DC from New York takes about 3 hours, but while en route I couldn't help but think about how different it must have been being a mail carrier back in 1832 versus taking high-speed rail today.
We are approaching our next and final stop, Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Good morning, everyone. A bit chilly here in DC, chillier than I expected. But this morning, we're planning to meet Allison Basilinsky at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. I'm super excited. Allison has a PhD in American Studies, and we're gonna pick her brain on historic Postal Service worker attire and clothing and all things US Postal Service. Let's go. Hello.
Hey.
Good to meet you. Drew Joyner, pleasure. So let me set the stage here for you a little bit. Allison Basilinsky is one of the foremost experts on USPS attire history at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. And the reason why I think understanding the history of United States postal attire is so relevant is because, as we'll discover, the men and women who deliver and continue to deliver the mail are integral to how we are connected as a people.
I'm Allison Basilinsky. I'm one of the curators here at the National Postal Museum. My areas include the uniform collection. I study rural free delivery. I study commerce in the mail, so ordering things through the mail order, and then whatever else they need from me. We have 6 million objects,
Amazing.
So it's a lot of stuff.
To commemorate the 250-year anniversary, USPS collaborated with Ralph Lauren to create a capsule collection to bring back to life as well as pay homage to the remarkable history of the Postal Service and its profound impact on American life. Postal uniforms were first introduced during the Civil War era in 1868, transforming over time to reflect technological advancements, social changes, and the needs of the evolving workforce. The way USPS uniforms have left their mark on modern fashion include the often referenced but not spoken to details like postal blue, the colorway of a lot of carrier jackets, the cadet gray tones, brass buttons, service stars, work gloves. These accessories and details have served as inspiration for countless designers, artists, and media figures over the last 250 years. What are some of the differences that you noticed, or like, is Ralph Lauren staying true to form? Anything that like stood out to you about this jacket compared to the original?
Yeah, it's such a, like, the inspiration is so clear. You can see it, you know, in the pocket placement, in the lining, in the padding. Something I noticed immediately is that the horse is facing front for the Ralph Lauren jacket, and for this patch, like at this time period, the rider was facing backwards.
Interesting.
And this gets flipped in 1965.
Later I learned this was an intentional design choice from Ralph Lauren because USPS flipped the patch orientation in 1965 to face the rider to the front of the jacket, symbolizing forward momentum. It's sort of this play on the idea that the country and USPS are moving forward with this horse that's facing forward. And Ralph Lauren wanted to honor that.
So that's a clear giveaway, but
Yeah.
the buttons are very true to the original, using the same company and the same button die.
Yeah.
The use of service stars.
These are the stars that you were talking about before,
Yes.
which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see them on these coats back here as well.
Yep.
So the different colors, the number of stars, and I think that's a really nice nod to the employees of the post office. The workwear collection for the post office is unique in that it does have such a long history. So you get to see that change over time, and sort of an understudied and maybe underutilized element of clothing and fashion history. Like,
One
they're
of the
really-
biggest light bulb moments I had during this conversation was the idea that USPS Fashion is incredibly underutilized. We are in a renaissance as it pertains to vintage, secondhand, and referencing the past. Over the last 5 years, workwear was and continues to be one of the most referenced styles of the 2020s. These artifacts and the work that Ralph Lauren has done to bring these old clothes back to life in a modern way is being totally underutilized on a macro level.
And the style of this tag, where it says Polo RL US Mail, this is the same style that you would see denoting that something was union made and what union made it.
Wow.
So that's a nice callback to that history and the relationship with the textile and the clothing unions.
That's special.
People might have a piece here or there, but a lot of these pieces, like, people just contact us and ask to donate them, and then they maybe have these personal stories. So it's both a collection that has personal stories attached to it, but also you can see some of that progression. And I think it's unique amongst other uniforms where maybe like a police uniform is much more formal, or military uniforms are much more formal. And I think the postal uniforms are connected to fashion throughout the years in a way that is unique. People have opinions about these uniforms and this workwear. These are things that they have articulated to the public, to each other. There's always been sort of an ongoing conversation about it, and I think that's part of why the history is so interesting.
For sure.
Our objects date back to the beginning of this country, and they go through the present day, and it's really a rich history people can pull from, that they can look to for inspiration. You know, it's things that we do research on, so we do deep dives on research, but also we're trying to show you the breadth of this material as well.
I hardly gave USPS Fashion a look prior to visiting with Allison at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum and experiencing the collection that Ralph Lauren has built. But what I love about the pieces that Ralph Lauren made for this capsule is the attention to detail. Would you ever consider looking at USPS uniforms as a reference for personal style or for design? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. And as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2025. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you and to everyone who's alive, wherever you are in the world. Have a wonderful rest of your day. A bientôt. Peace.